Hey everybody, what's up? I have just been enjoying life lately. A lot of changes have been happening. I mean, I have a new room, which is really cool. I guess I could show you guys a little bit of my room. Here's above my bed. And it's just a bunch of pictures. I will show you. Here's me and my daddy whenever I was little. Here's my grandpa and me, and yes, that's a block of cheese. There's me and my cousin Austin. That is me at prom. There's like a sunset. Me and Austin. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. There's my mirror. All of that. Drawer, dresser, my closet. My books, this is kind of like my little desk. There's stuff under there and there's stuff over there, but we just moved in, so yeah. So lots of change for me in my life lately, but God just kind of showed me that through all the change, like He's the one thing that remains constant. Like He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that's like really been helping me, because a lot of the times people will leave our lives and it just kind of was like a constant mystery, and I thought it was like, who's gonna go next, you know? But we shouldn't think that way. God always stays. And you know what I also like really hate is whenever people think that like my relationship with God is just philosophy based. It's not, because I've experienced things that are even more real than, you know, this world, like this flesh, this body. It's like I want everybody to experience those things. And here's a scripture I just wanted to read really quick. In James 4 says, do you think that the scripture says in vain, the spirit that dwells in us lusts to envy? But God gives more grace. Wherefore he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourself therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw close to God, and he will draw close to you. Cleanse your hearts, or cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. And that scripture that is kind of like, what? Where he's like, be afflicted and mourn and weep, and let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness, is basically talking about, like, it's not talking about the real true joy that people get. It's like talking about the earthly joy, like the things of this world that make us happy, they don't really make us happy, they just kind of hide things. It's talking about that earthly joy. So yeah, I don't know, it's just a really awesome scripture. And I don't know, another thing is, in about 7 days I go to a camp called Youth America, and it's in Oklahoma City. I go with my church, and it is so Jesus-y. I'm gonna make a video.
Come see Mama.
I'm making a video. It's okay. But yeah, I'll be making a video there and showing you guys like my experience, a little taste of my experience there. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do know that God's got huge plans for whatever it is. So yeah, I don't know. Yep. I just came back a few days ago from a church camp. It's actually FCA camp, and it's in Shell Knob, Missouri. And it's called, the camp is called Point 11, but it's going to be Camp Barnabas soon. But anyways, they always have FCA camp there, and I learned a lot there, like a lot about myself and what I need to work on. Like, it is an athletic based Christian camp, because like it's like a school club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, if you didn't know. But like there was this guy there named Ron Brown, and he's from Nebraska. He's like a football coach or something. Well, we did this thing there called Doing Sports God's Way, where we would all go on like this football field, I think it was, and we would do whatever he told us to do, basically like push-ups, whatever. I don't know. Well, I did it the first day with all these people. It was so crazy. And he had us like do the football stuff where we get in like lines or whatever, and we jog in place, then he'd whistle, we'd get down, and jogging place, and then he eventually had us doing jogging place, blows the whistle, do two push-ups, get back up, jogging place, he'd blow the whistle, and it was just hardcore. Like, we did that for like 30 to 40 minutes, and I mean, he would like preach to us while he was doing it. It was like crazy. You could feel the passion, you could feel God. But I learned a lot about myself because I actually gave up. And it wasn't because I was dying, it wasn't because I couldn't breathe. I just got uncomfortable because, you know, when you work out, yeah, it kind of hurts. But I mean, I was fine. It was really hot out there, but I was fine. There's people out there that had asthma and all these things, and they were still out there. And like halfway through, a little over halfway through, I walked up and sat on the bench. And during that time, I was like, whoa. I needed to believe in myself. I needed to focus on God when I do things like this, because if I try and rely on my own strength, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna, you know, and that really taught a lot to me. I wasn't the only one who sat out, but I really felt like I shouldn't have, because I could have kept going. Sometimes we just gotta push a little farther and go a little farther, and once we get to the end, we'll be like, wow, so glad that I hung in there, you know. And I didn't do that, so it helped me realize, you know. And one thing that he said was like, athletics like squeeze you. Like, imagine a sponge. If you put the sponge in water and you take it out and you squeeze it, what comes out? Water. You put the sponge in tomato juice and you take it out and you squeeze it, what comes out? Tomato juice. It shows you what's really on the inside, and I found inside me there was selfishness and honestly, like, not believing in myself. There was hatred against myself, just a little bit, that didn't think that I could do anything, so I just gave up. And that was so stupid, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, because you need to know you can do anything at all. If you have a desire to do something, if you put God first in it, He'll make you prosper.